This has to be the last passenger car to not have rack and pinion steering. It has a steering box like a Ford Super Duty.
Why, these kids today, they got the world by the you-know-what.
Unfortunately, many automobile manufacturers are trapped in what we call the commodity syndrome. They sell cars that, for the most part, are nearly identical to those of their competitors. It's a little like selling soap. One product is just about as good as another.
For what this car cost brand new in 1999, to have a platform that was then getting on to be 6 or 7 years old, it doesn't really seem like this car would have been worth that back then. I mean, it's a beautiful car, don't get me wrong, but I'm surprised they got away with charging that much for it, to be honest. I am quite surprised. This has to be the last passenger car to not have rack and pinion steering. It's a lot of turns lock to lock, and it's very difficult to get used to when you're trying to do like a 90-degree turn onto, like, say, a side street. You end up having to turn the wheel a lot more than you maybe think that you should, and it makes the car feel a lot bigger than it actually is. It's the only car that I cannot seem to get used to the dimensions of it. It's quite odd. And I don't know why that is, because I had an E-Class, very similar, same model year, 1999. And that car, I loved that car, but it had a different steering setup, different chassis, right? And that car I didn't have this problem where the car just feels so much bigger than it actually is. And again, that's not really a problem. It's despite it looking a lot like an E sedan, like a W210 or an E-Class sedan from this era with the 4 really distinctive elliptical headlights. It's actually a completely different chassis. It's based on the older C-Class. It sounds great. I mean, like for you know, 25-year-old car, it goes pretty good. I'm more than happy with the performance. They're great on the highway. I mean, when you need to do a lot of highway, when you need to do like a multi-hour drive, like a road trip, these things just eat up highway miles. It's great. They're so comfortable. In Canada, these had very few options. Like, you could get a sunroof. I think that was in the xenon headlights it has. The only thing it doesn't have, I believe, is maybe a navigation system. But I don't even know if you could get that back then.
Interior is just black, but really nice. Yeah, it looks great. Honestly, you can't really complain too much for a 24-year-old car. In here. Gotta give the door a good slam, that's for sure. So yeah, as you can see, 115,081 kilometers. The only complaint I have about it is the horn buttons. Every time I've gone to honk the horn because I need to, I'm always doing this. I can never remember to correct for this. Like, I'll never be able to honk the horn. Complaint I have. I heard these break really easily, but these are like brand new in here. Like, remember, this is a 4-year-old car. Power seats everywhere. I put this Continental stereo in. This is the only stereo I would use in Mercedes that I've had. It's plug and play. You just pull the old one out, slide this one in. It even uses the same wiring harness. It's fantastic. It's got the headlight washers and all that stuff, which are really like heated seats. It's got the headrests that fold if you push the button, which is nice if you want to be able to see out the back. And if we go, there it is right there, same color. I know for a fact that this car was 60 grand. Adjusted for inflation, that's like $95,000 or $100,000 for this car. This is not a cheap vehicle. You know, for 2,700 bucks, I think I did okay. Those are the wheels that I really want. These are, like, they call them lightweights, and if anybody has a set of these, consider just giving them to me. Only these fit on Westphalia vans, which to me is just you'll just spend any amount of money to look like you live that lifestyle. So people buy these and they'll spend obscene amounts of money on them to put them on Westphalia vans. That shit really bugs me, because there it is. That's identical to mine, like the same color and everything. And I want those wheels. This is the look that I like. I don't know why. Like, some people say these wheels are really ugly. I really, really like them. Oh, you'll see this a lot with this era of Mercedes. They'll always have one brake light out, and you can replace the bulb as many times as you want. It's a wiring, not a wiring thing, but like it's like the brake light switch. My old one did the exact same thing. One weird thing also is the steering wheel, it telescopes. You can push it in and out, but you can't move it up and down, and I've never seen a car that does that. My old one did not have a sunroof, which was rare. I actually prefer not having a sunroof, but that's, you know, it's not a big deal. I don't mind. I had to find a hood ornament because it didn't come with one. This one also has the very trick thing that I think is awesome, which is the single big windshield wiper. Every car isn't just like that because it's awesome. You don't only have to buy one wiper. Down here, the window controls are here, which is a little bit weird. Some people, I don't mind it, but some people find that just really awkward. Everything's clean in here. I replaced the belt and tensioner and idler. I just flushed the coolant yesterday because the stuff that was in there was pretty old. This is the exact same engine I had in my old car, and it was the first like engine I ever really worked on myself, and it was the first car that like made sense to me. I don't know if that makes sense, but it was the first car that like I just could figure out, you know, like it was, I don't know why, just that's why I like it. And I will always buy a car with this engine because it's a really good engine.
With the way that the front steering is set up, I actually did have the but it makes it actually a lot easier to service, I suppose. Like a steering rack is quite expensive to replace if you have a car with rack and pinion steering, but a steering box and the steering linkage is actually not expensive to replace. It was $200 for the whole steering linkage with the ball joints and everything, and it was not a difficult job to replace it. And I bought it from the original owner. She only drove it once or twice a month. I would only use it to drive to the University Women's Club at the Highcroft in Shaughnessy, if you know Vancouver. That's the only place she ever drove it, from West Vancouver to the University Women's Club at the Highcroft. They said the car had driven there so many times it could drive there itself. I don't doubt that it could. The only problem it has, the only thing that doesn't work is the air conditioning. And I think it's because she never used it. But I remember when I bought it, they told me it didn't have air conditioning. And I mean, I can see the refrigerant lines and the compressor under the hood, and I know it came with it. It was a $60,000-$70,000 car, brand new, right? Like, it's not going to not have air conditioning, but I wasn't going to argue with them. I mean, I do miss having 4 doors. I'm not a huge fan of coupes. I mean, I love the way that it looks, don't get me wrong, and it's comfortable for me because I'm tall, I'm 6'4", and it's comfortable for me. The only thing I don't like about coupes is I like just being able to toss stuff into the back seat. That's a big thing that I quite enjoy about having a sedan, and it's kind of annoying not being able to do that. And I also don't like how exposed you feel. Like, I know that's kind of a weird thing, but it feels like, you know, the visibility is great, but it feels like you're always like on stage. Like, it feels like, because the car's a pretty bright color, and it feels like you're always, you know, just there for everybody to see, right? And that's not a huge deal, but it's kind of it's a little bit awkward.